Hello and welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul and this is the one card tarot reading for this energetic cycle of readings, which does begin every Monday and Friday. So what we have to do right now is invoke the energies that will be presiding over this current energetic cycle of readings. All right, before we get to our one card, we've got to clear away the energies from the previous cycle. So we got our Tatwa card, we've got our Jing card, and we've got our Lotteria card. Now I would appreciate it if you would hit the like button, if you would leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Okay, now first things first, Jing. Let's do our Jing card. And if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know, okay? Leave your requests down in the comments. I read every comment. Can't always reply to every single one, but I do read them all, okay? I do my best, all right? So we're going to do, I guess that would be the one, or there are three. Should we do three Jing readings for this energetic cycle? We have, very interesting. We have great possession blocked, not yet across. This is interesting here. Okay, well, I guess we'll start with great possession. Card number 14. From the source, creating success. What is the commentary here? It says, you are rich, either in material goods or in knowledge, wisdom, power, energy, talent, or relationships. Whatever form it takes, you have something real and potent in your possession. That which you have or are, you can give. This pure potential is an opening to source and a promise of abundance. Given all you have, who will you be? How can you affirm and support what is good? Great possession. So this is, to me, this is kind of like the, maybe like a 10 of Pentacles, right? Wealth. You have wealth and abundance. Now, it doesn't just mean, again, material goods. It could be wisdom, knowledge, power, energy, talent, or relationships, right? You're wealthy and abundant in so many different ways. So we have to understand that. And then we come to the 12th hexagram, which is blocked, blocking it, non-people. Noble one's constancy bears no fruit. The great goes, the small comes. So maybe this is if we in some way don't share what we are or what we have, right? Because it says here, that which you have or are, you can give, right? And this pure potential is an opening to source and a promise of abundance. But if we are blocked, right? Nothing moves or grows. Communication doesn't happen. Everything is negated and blocked. Perhaps others sabotage progress with a negative influence or no empathy. Even your brilliant ideas and best efforts come to nothing. Instead, focus on the smaller details of your immediate reality. What can you work on when nothing is working? And who are you when no one is noticing? So I find it interesting that we've got this great abundance, this great wealth, and then we're blocked somehow, right? Let's see if the key to that predicament is in the next hexagram, the last one, the 64th hexagram, not yet across. Creating success. The small fox, almost across, soaks its tail. No direction bears fruit. This is kind of like at the very end of the race where you feel like you can just kind of, go a little bit easier, and then something happens and you don't actually make it across the finish line, right? At the end of the Jing, nothing is complete. Everything is in flux. A wise fox will only attempt to cross the river when it is solid ice, and then, treading carefully, every sense alert. When you are not yet across, you may be hesitating on the verge of a transition, sensing if it's safe to commit yourself. Use the skills of a wise fox. How will you prepare for the crossing, and how will you know when it's time? Well, just the fact that we have 3 Jing hexagrams for this energetic cycle tells me that we're really on the verge of something great. We're trying to cross that great river, right? Which is a common motif in the Jing, crossing the great river, right? Making that big transition, making that big change, taking that big step, physically or emotionally, creatively, whatever it might be. If we're blocked right now, we have to use the wisdom of that little fox and wait for it to be just right. And then we can cross with some care, right? Being very cautious. So I like that we have these 3 hexagrams. That has not happened before. And we'll use all 3. We'll keep all 3 in mind. But now let's select the Lotteria card. Now, I'm not too familiar with the Lotteria cards. I don't have all of the images memorized, and with each image there is a little riddle that goes with it, right? This is the kind of the Mexican lottery game or bingo game. They have these big cards, and then, you know, I don't know. But I do have a list with me of all of these riddles, so we can apply this. And you know, it may be unwise for me to use these as the kind of influencing energies for these readings, but I think this is a good way for all of us to learn about these cards, you know. And it may be silly, oh, well, they're just bingo cards, right? But, you know, there's wisdom in these cards. I feel very connected with these, and it is something that I'm trying to learn more about because I find that their energies are very, very strong. Let's select one for our current purposes, and we'll try to just do one. Oh, La Garza. Okay. This one we can look up on our list here. This is card number 19. So, this is the heron. On the other side of the river is the sandbar where sits my honey with a beak like a brown heron. And this is, the key word for this is find, right? Finding our heron. True love is available, but it might take time to find it. Or look and you will find what you are seeking, maybe in an unlikely place. Maybe as we have this great abundance, but yet we feel blocked from making this big move in our life, this big change, this big river crossing that we're getting ready for. Maybe what we need is to find our heron, right? Find what we are seeking, and it might be in an unlikely place, right? I think that's very nice. I like the way all of this is fitting together, right? Next, we're going to do the Lotteria card. I'm sorry, we just did the Lotteria card. The Tatwa card. This is the elemental energy, and these Tatwa cards represent the 5 elements of spirit, fire, water, air, and earth, and the different combinations of those elements. Okay, so there are 25 of these, and we'll pick one, hopefully one, to preside over this cycle of readings. Let's see what we've got. Well, we've got Earth of Spirit, and I think that's really nice, Earth of Spirit here. So this to me is a way that we are giving form to the spirit around us, right? That we are indeed a manifestation of the spirit. And this is interesting to me because it's kind of like the material world is contained in the spiritual world, rather than it being the other way around, where the spirit is kind of contained in matter. No, this is kind of saying that spirit permeates everything, and it is within the spiritual energy that we find the material existence, right? So this is kind of a little bit of a shift in the way, I think, the way that spirit and matter are kind of typically looked at, you know. Okay, finally, let's do our Guardian of the Mystery card. Now, we just used Mr. Tao, the Yin Yang Duck. Before that, we used Mr. Bates, aka Kevin. So I think this cycle, well, you know what? I kind of feel like we did Alien, and then we did Frog, and then we did the Duck. So maybe we should switch. I think our order is like this. Next, we should do Jimbo, aka the Lizard King, as the Guardian of our Mystery card, and we'll put Jimbo right there to guard that Mystery card. Now those are the archetypes that influence the current cycle of readings, which does last until Friday. Now, the planetary ruler for this cycle is Mars, and that planetary ruler changes with the beginning of every cycle, so twice a week. So Mars is kind of the ruler of this one, and to me it kind of symbolizes that that unbridled energy, right? That there is just this flow of power and almost aggression, right? That is hopefully going to get us across this river. It is the overcoming of any fear. There is almost no fear, or Alternatively, we could say that there is a tremendous amount of fear crossing this river, but with that tremendous fear comes an equal amount of courage and bravery, right? So I like that. Now, this tarot card, this is going to be a general energy, not only for the day, but for this whole cycle, right? So try to be open and be receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. Remember, everyone, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And beautiful, beautiful, we have a 6 of Swords. I think we had this recently for our or maybe one of the daily cards that we used to do. I think we had the 6 of Swords. Now, the key word for the 6 of Swords is science, okay? And to me, this is really, it's a couple of things, really. It's a kind of an amalgamation of symbols. The first thing that comes to mind for me is the blending of thinking and feeling, heart and mind, right? And perhaps this is also related to our I Ching kind of task or quest right here. The great possession that we have, but there's a blockage that's preventing us from getting across. Now, the blockage could be the heron, could be that true love, it could be that one thing that's missing from our lives. And that, in the context of this tarot card, would be the heart element, right? So it could be that we're really in need of a unification of our thinking and our feeling. We've got to get that feeling, right? We've got to get that, that missing piece to create our 6 of Swords. And now the 6 of Swords will allow us to offer no resistance to this spiritual energy, so that we can manifest the spirit that's around us, that we can kind of solidify within ourselves the reality of this spiritual energy. Okay, because what I like to say on this channel when we get start talking about creativity and things, it's to me it's a fire to earth sort of process, right? Or in this case, we could say it's kind of a spirit to earth sort of process. And the one thing that inhibits the fire to earth, or the spirit to earth, the heaven to earth kind of process, is our human personality, our thinking and our feeling, right? When thinking and feeling are not in harmony, there's resistance. When that current of energy goes from fire headed towards earth, it gets interfered with in our human mind, right? Because of our thinking and feeling functions. And it's kind of the same way you get an intuitive feeling, right? But then you start overthinking it, and then maybe what you're kind of feeling, what your desires are, kind of gets in the way of what your intuition is. And then we start jumbling up the message. So it's kind of like that telephone game that we all used to play in kindergarten. So this card is really a unification of those two functions, right? This is also a card of science. So this is a card really of working out the details, of figuring out, not just intellectually. We're not memorizing things here. We're really understanding the beauty of what's before us, the beauty of reality, the beauty of the process of spirit into matter, right? Concentrating spirit into a tangible center kind of thing. So it's science in the sense of a deeper understanding of the workings that are involved here, right? And it's not just memorization. It's a deeper wisdom about it. Yeah. And this is really the assemblage of facts, right? All of these different swords, all the facts are kind of, brought together at a certain point. All the facts, all the information, all the different kind of side tracks that we might be on, they're all pointed at the same thing, and that is right in the center of us, right in the center of spirit and matter. See, the rose cross that's in the center of this, the cross is matter, the rose is spirit, right? So it's kind of like spirit is contained within that cross, right? Which is kind of the opposite of what we see here, right? This is the kind of the cross that would be contained within the rose. And I think that these two together, those ideas, are very interesting in that they're kind of the inverse of the other. It's like the rose grows from the cross, but then the cross is kind of produced by the rose, and then we have that cross, and then another rose grows. So it's kind of a continuous unfolding, right? One chicken and the egg, right? What came first? Well, it's kind of the similar thing here. So the idea here that we're taking this science energy, this is magic, right? This is us understanding how the magic works, right? And this is what is going to allow us to see the bigger picture. This is kind of a divine blueprint, right? This Six of Swords is the document that the two figures are holding in the Three of Pentacles. I don't know if you're familiar with the Rider-Waite depiction of the Three of Pentacles. It is an artisan or a craftsman kind of up on a bench, doing some sort of masonry or stonework or something. And there are these two figures, off to the side that have this kind of blueprint, and they're kind of saying, hey, look, this is what we want you to build. And what they're holding is this. This is your divine blueprint. This is you understanding, kind of having a map of what you're trying to do, and really, again, internalizing it, understanding it. So I think for the next few days, this is very important for us to understand all of these ideas. How our personality might be interfering with the message, with the creation that we're trying to accomplish. How we need to be organized, and we need to have a plan. We need to have a blueprint of really what we want to do in a very practical way, right? When you're setting out on a journey, you have to kind of know where you're going, maybe plan some rest stops here and there, figure out where you're going to spend the night, if you're on a longer road trip. And then also having that deeper sense of understanding of what you're doing, figuring out how all of the facts fit together to make this kind of beautiful reality, this beautiful picture, So I think we really do have our work cut out for us, this cycle of readings, just with all of these, with all the I Ching cards themselves. But then I like Ligarza. I like this idea that there's this one thing that we need, that we're missing, and that is kind of the missing piece of the puzzle. It might even be one of the missing swords that are here. The one thing that kind of puts all of this together, and then we have this heart-mind activation, right? So it's the one thing that we're missing here that kind of will create the understanding, allow for the order to be established within the chaos, and we can get across that river and make this big move. So I think the subscribers, followers, the viewers of this video, whoever is watching these readings, you're really in an important period of time in your life. I think there's big transitions going on, big changes are taking place, big opportunities are before you, and we've got to figure out kind of what we want, heart and mind, right? Got to be together and figure out how to do that. We've got to have that courage to do it. We've got to have the tact and the delicacy to get across that river, right? We've got to find whatever is missing so that we can go across that river fully present and fully aware, right? If there's something missing, then there'll be something in the back of your mind that you're still kind of thinking about. It takes your attention away from, well, this very tricky river that we're trying to cross, right? So anyway, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me read for you. Please watch your sun, moon, and rising sign readings this week. Well, I'll see you again on Friday for another energetic cycle change. Thank you. I love you. And I hope you'll come back and see me again very, very soon.